On the morning of our third day, the only thing on our agenda was to get to the Alvord Playa, which is about an hour away.
Say a silent prayer to the gods of coffee.
That looks good.
We took advantage of the lax schedule to check out Steens Mountain, a massive and relatively unknown mountain that forms the western border of the Alvord. We enjoyed some amazing views and got a few shots before heading off to the town of Fields. Fields, the third in our tour of single gas pump towns, held a surprise. The best milkshakes in all of Oregon are made in the back corner of this tiny combination gas station, grocery, restaurant, and motel. We loaded up with their finest provisions and then took the back roads to the Playa, where we'd camp for the night. The Alvord Playa is a 7-mile wide by 12-mile long lake bed in the rain shadow of Steens Mountain. The magic of the Alvord is what's missing. No turns, no straights, no speed limit, no ruts, and no end to the thrill that is just opening the throttle and leaning any direction you want. After a few hours of exploring the entire perimeter, we began to consider our options for camping. Gregor's goal was always to camp in the middle. Not something that makes sense in a practical way, but something that makes sense in a photographic way. He wanted a photo that would convey the spectacular vast emptiness of the Alvord Playa. As we were unpacking the bikes, dark clouds began gathering. The rain was plain to see all around us, but somehow it wasn't raining on us. As the winds picked up, I decided it would be safer to stay at the campground near the hot springs on the edge of the playa. It sure seemed like a better place to watch a storm. Unfortunately, my pleading to find a safer spot was falling on deaf ears. Gregor was not to be deterred from shooting his camping scene and sleeping on the playa.
I should probably geotag this, just in case you need to come and find Scott and I. Because it looks really, really crazy.
There's no question they were able to get an amazing photo. However, they're now locked in to staying there for the night.
Hey Scott, how's it going? Good. You're doing good over here. It's a really nice night. A lot of peace and quiet. All right, see you in the morning.
The next morning, I packed up and headed to the hot spring to wait for Gregor and Scott.
So it rained off and on all night, and I just got up to go outside for a second. We're fucked. We're really far from the side, and it's going to be impossible to ride, and I have no idea how the fuck we're going to get these bikes off of the playa. Oh, wow. Well, we wanted an adventure. Be careful what you wish for, huh?
They decided the only course of action was to hike to the hot spring and wait until the playa was dry before attempting to move the bikes.
This is the cost of adventure. So about every 5 to 10 steps, your boot will have picked up enough mud that it weighs about 15 to 20 pounds.
After almost 2 miles slogging across the playa, Scott and Gregor arrived at the hot springs.
One of us was right, 2 of us were wrong. And I'm a little ashamed to be in the wrong category.
I'm with you.
As dilemmas go, this was actually not too bad.
It hurts.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, this is fucking perfect.
And there's just no way to imagine how good this feels.
We watched with wonder as snow fell on the peak behind us, while 2 cowboys on horseback descended the fence line. After a while, we were joined by an eclectic and entertaining assortment of individuals, from a trans quantum physicist to a Jeep-owning knitter. The sun finally came out and the winds picked up enough to dry the playa. We headed out to rescue the bikes and be on our way. It's worth noting that it's not enough to make an adventurous choice if you don't immerse yourself in that choice. That means talking to those that you meet and sharing your story and listening to their story. We set our course for our next destination, Leslie Gulch, but first, we'd spend the night at Rome Station, the only food and fuel for miles around. Speaking of sharing stories, when we arrived in Rome, we ran into a couple of bicyclists who were mapping a 1,000-mile off-road route for a bicycle race across Oregon. They gave us a tip on a remote hot spring to the south.
And it's got an infinity pool and a waterfall.
We couldn't believe our luck and ended up scrapping our entire plan for the next day so that we could visit this magical place that he described as...
It's my favorite hot springs anywhere in the world.
Whoa.
We're from Alaska, so it is.
Perhaps we're learning a larger lesson couched in advice for planning an adventure.